Many of us hear the term sales enablement all the time, but what exactly is sales enablement and how does sales enablement apply to you as a seller or as a sales leader? In today's episode, we're going to tackle it and we're going to talk about sales enablement 3.0 and how we have advanced and we've elevated and how this can help your organization and your pocket make more money. Let's check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, I have Mr. Roderick Jefferson coming on the show. This is the second time coming on the show. If you want to check him out, you can find information about Roderick in the show notes. Man, this dude is the godfather of sales enablement. I said it and you heard it. The godfather of sales enablement. He was way back in the days when sales enablement wasn't even thought of and when this first came about, and how he's been able to help develop his organization and help clients all across the globe. In today's episode, we're going to talk specifically about his new book and about this notion of how sales enablement has evolved a bit and how we're in the sales enablement 3.0 era. What does this mean? How does this tie to you having better conversation and improving your sales? And overall, as an organization, helping our organization to be able to perform at its maximum capacity. Ooh, I'm telling you, it's going to be so good.
A quick explanation. I always give this when someone doesn't understand enablement at all. Here's how I explain it. Think about an orchestra. You've got woodwinds, strings, percussion, etc., right? They're all trying to play the right music, but the problem is sometimes it's out of tune, sometimes it's over each other, and it's out of phase and out of tune. Well, the same thing happens inside of a company. You've got marketing, product marketing, HR, engineering, sales enablement, and we're all trying to do the right thing for the customer or the prospect. Sometimes the left hand and the right hand isn't aware of what's going on with each other. Sometimes it's out of phase. Sometimes we're over marketing to the same folks. Until in both cases, one person or organization that I believe is enablement, which becomes the orchestrator, steps up, taps that stand, and all of that noise and chaos becomes a beautiful sheet of music. That's what enablement is. And here's the interesting thing. And I started the book with this statement. If you ask 10 people what enablement means, you'll probably get 12 different answers. And that's not wrong. What it says is you're going to get a bit of of understanding of what enablement is for that company and where they are in their maturation cycle. The explanation and the definition shifts as your company continues to grow. But what I want you to focus on now is what is the right employee to bring in, not just who is our focus and persona for who we're selling to. Again, as I said about where you are in the maturation cycle, do you need a BDR focused inbound sell? Do you need a mid-session or mid-level? Or do you need those kind of grizzly gray seasoned folks to be able to talk to that executive level that looks at them and says, look, I'm glad they brought you because sometimes they bring someone younger and I've got shoes and belts that are older than these people. It's real out there, right? So now back to the explanation. Next is onboarding, and that is role-specific onboarding, not just trying to peanut butter or blanket. The next is around role-specific business acumen. We call them guided learning paths in our world, right? What's going to happen from day one or even sometime pre-0 day one all the way through the entire life cycle of you being in a sales position or role. The next is about coaching and reinforcement for the leaders. If we don't get them up and running, we're dead. They have to buy into this. They have to have input on it. And then they have to model what does it and what should it look like? Because the old adage goes, what's important to a manager is imperative to the people on their team, right? And then finally, it's the measurements piece. And I'm not talking about smiley sheets and butts and seats. Oh, we got all fives and we trained 500 people. That and $7 will get you a latte.
Oh!
And the last piece, the last piece is about succession planning. How are you now creating more leaders instead of just more managers? That to me is the definition and also the overview of the difference between enablement and training.
Is there anything else that you would want listeners to be able to understand when it comes towards enablement that we may not have tackled yet? I know you have so much in the book on this, Roderick, but
I want to go actually a step
anything else?
higher than just enablement. I want to talk to
Sure.
the leaders. I want to talk to the managers. I want to talk to the executives that are listening to this. Kind of three
Okay.
things that I always like to leave with is we all talk about EQ, right? But what is EQ? What does it really mean? To me, it's the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. And always set it up that way because it's all about how do I have a conversation with each of my people differently? How do I have a empathetic and also a self-aware conversation? And how do I, and what I've learned along the way that I think hits the mark, and I always start every meeting with my team, etc., and I want to share this with your audience. It's a simple 3-part question. I see you smiling because you know where I'm about to go, Donald. Start every conversation this way. Do you want me to listen? Do you want me to coach? Or do you want me to fix? And that does 2 things. One, it tells the individual that this is their time and it's all about them. And secondly, as leaders, we normally go directly into fix mode. Sometimes that's not what's needed. So again, I'll reiterate. Start every conversation with, do you want me to just listen? Do you want me to coach? Or do you want me to fix? Because now I know what set of ears and what set of lenses to put on for that conversation.
Folks out there want to get in touch with you. They want to get connected to send you a personal message or even to check out the book. Where do they go to do that? Where do you want them to go connect with you?
Oh, I always say if you can't find me on social media, you're not really trying. And here's why I say it. On LinkedIn, you can find me at Roderick Jefferson. On Twitter, at The Voice of Rod. Also on Facebook, at The Voice of Rod. On Instagram, Roderick_J_Associates. And finally, if you want to see what's going on YouTube, you can find it under Roderick Jefferson and Associates.
That was Roderick Jefferson, and I want you to go connect with him. You can find all of his information in the show notes. Please check out his book. It's titled Sales Enablement 3.0, The Blueprint to Sales Enablement Excellence. And you could find all of the information, again, in our show notes. Check out the audio link. If you go ahead and click on that, you can use my audio link and you can get Audible, get your first book for free and do it with this one. I mean, why not? So find that information. Also, speaking about stuff for free, our sponsors are giving you some amazing things, and I would highly encourage you to click on their offers in the show notes. The sponsors here are people that I've worked with, products that I agree with, that I love, and that I would highly recommend. So I want you to go ahead and check that out and go ahead and support them. Let them know that you heard them here on the Sales Evangelist. As always, I want you to find more ideal customers. I want you to know what to say when you reach out to them. I want you to close more deals. But most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking and go out and do big things. Thank you so much.